Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. My name is Esther Wachuku, and these are the top stories. Lukman cries out on APC-led government. Also, supporters urges Tinubu to reverse Obasanjo's policy to tackle cement price surge. Fuel scarcity looms as tanker drivers threaten fresh strike. Federal government seals off popular store in Abuja as crackdown on hoarding price fixing begins. And President Tinubu supporters declare President Tinubu strategizing to end untold hardship in Nigeria. Details now. A former national vice chairman of the All Progressives Congress Northwest, Lukman, has expressed concerns over the ruling party's vulnerability, highlighting that the Tinubu-led government faces a risk of rebellion from ordinary Nigerians. In a statement issued earlier today, Lukman lamented that the ruling party, APC, is becoming unpopular because of the policies of President Bola Tinubu, which have inflicted more pain on Nigerians. The party chieftain emphasized the need for leaders to act as visionary politicians and implement significant political reforms to prevent dangerous situations. This will help to reposition the party and bring it back to its original vision of being a progressive political party. Lukman also stated he thought, and quote, "Given this reality, it is painful to admit that both the APC as a party and the government of President Asiwaju Tinubu are becoming increasingly unpopular with Nigerians." Lukman also stated that no one should be deceived that given the way we are becoming more and more unpopular, we are faced with the risk of rebellion by ordinary Nigerians. The truth, according to Lukman, is that given the fact that political opposition to APC is weak and organizations of civil society in the country are also weak, the capacity to provide the needed leadership to the opposition against APC and President Asiwaju Tinubu may be nebulous and desperate, which could become a threat to democracy. Elsewhere, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has urged President Bola Tinubu to reverse former President Olusegun Obasanjo's policy if he wants to address the rising cement prices. VOP News gathered that the spokesman of IPOB, Imapafo, blamed the current suffering of Igbos and Nigerians on policies of ethnic bigotry against their businesses. In a statement he signed, the IPOB spokesperson called on the Nigerian government to address the alleged monopoly of Dangote and Bua in the cement industry. They argued that this monopoly contributes to the high prices of cement and building materials, particularly affecting Indigo and other Nigerians. They urged President Bola Tinubu to reverse policies favoring these companies and reintroduce competition, specifically mention Ibeto Cement. Now, Nigerians may experience a fresh fuel scarcity situation if petrol tankers under the aegis of the Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, NACO, make true their threats to stop lifting petrol as from Monday. NATO said the high cost of operations is responsible for their plan to park their vehicles and stop lifting fuel as from Monday, 19th of February. Speaking in a statement on Thursday in Abuja, NATO's President Yusuf Othman lamented that the drivers and truck owners have been operating at a loss, and several appeals to the government and other stakeholders to consider their plights have not yielded any positive response. According to him, the high cost of diesel to fuel their trucks, which is currently between 1,250 to 1,400 naira per litre, depending on the area purchase, is a huge disadvantage to the operation of members, and they can't continue doing business that way. Othman added that in an effort to resolve the issues, they have written letters to the Chief of Staff to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Minister of Petroleum Resources, Department of State Services, Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Regulatory Authority, Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, and all marketers, but no positive response has been gotten so far. He stated, and quote, "We will have to suspend operations latest from now till on Monday. We cannot continue to operate at a loss. Most people have packed. A lot more are going to park, but from the point of the association itself, we are going to suspend operations on Monday," end quote. Meanwhile, the federal government, or rather the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has sealed Sahad Store, a well-known supermarket located in the Garki area of Abuja. VOP News understands that the action is coming in response to President Bola Tinubu's recent announcement to address the underlying causes of the food crisis in the country. The supermarket's management has been accused of overcharging customers by deviating from the prices indicated on the shelves. Leading to the enforcement operation was the acting executive vice chairman of the FCCPC, Adamu Ahmed Abdullahi. Now, during a press briefing held alongside the event, Abdullahi informed journalists that the Commission's initial investigation substantiated the allegations of customer exploitation against the supermarket's management. Abdullahi further stated that the store will remain sealed until a thorough investigation is conducted to gather additional evidence and information. And still on the world news at 12, the Confederation of All Progressives Congress support groups have disclosed that President Bola Tinubu has developed strategies to surmount the issues threatening the nation's socio-economic and political development. Also, its Director General Mohammed Kalani said this on Thursday while welcoming aggrieved members of the opposition party who joined the ruling party APC in Abuja. Mr. Kalani expressed optimism that all the obstacles threatening Nigeria's socio-economic and political development were surmountable. He stated, and quote, "We are assuring Nigerians that they are surmountable because the APC President Bola Tinubu-led government has drawn up strategies that will surmount the issues threatening the march towards our desired socio-economic and political development." Mr. Kailani added that for these decampees from the PDP, People's Redemption Party, and the New Nigeria People's Party, Professor Kilaini Mohammed, the Director General of the Confederation of APC Support Groups, welcomes you all to the fold, end quote. They stated further that the path to leadership encompasses development and a set of legacy to the children and generations yet unborn. Now, to discuss this and more issues as talked about or rather read out earlier in the world news, actually have via the telephone Mr. Darlington. Mr. Darlington is a political, social and national affairs commentator. Mr. Darlington, good afternoon and welcome to VOP World News at 12.
Good afternoon, Esther, and how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Mr. Darlington, there's quite a lot. You do know that yesterday, actually, the president actually sat down with his members to talk about the current situation in the country. That is, the governors of the 36 states of the Federation to discuss the state of living and the likelihood of supposed rising price in food items. Now, apparently, Lukman, one of the APC members, is saying the national vice chairman of the APC Northwest, Salihu Lukman, is expressing concerns over the ruling party's vulnerability and highlighting that the Tinubu-led government faces a risk of rebellion from ordinary Nigerians. Mr. Darlington, would you agree with Mr. Lukman, considering the fact that just 3 or 4 days ago, 2 youth we saw on social media burnt leaves and burnt the Nigerian flags, and they are saying that there is nothing for them to eat and they are hungry? What's your take on that?
Esther, at this point, I am beginning to be angry with northern leaders. At this point, we should call them to order. Unfortunately, I don't even know why the Tinubu's media men are not talking. Why is it that all of them are threatening rebellion, revolution? The Sultan of Sokoto is telling us that they are the one keeping their voice from revolting. This other one is threatening rebellion. For what? Enter for what? What Buhari did all he did in government, where we are they? Seriously, I am very angry with northern leaders. The way they are doing this thing is not proper. Instead of them to look at the problem they created. They are looking for somebody to blame. The food insecurity, who caused it? Look at the vast land in the north. Why are they not farming those lands? Tinubu should come and farm the land for them. Is that what they are saying? No. Why are northern leaders not asking the same question? With all the land they have, they are still lacking food. What happened? Is that not a question we should ask them? Who caused the insecurity? Please, I am beginning to be angry with them. I still say it. I don't know why Tinubu men are not talking. They should reply them now. The problem they created, look at that, they are shifting it to everybody. For what? Tinubu is just 8 months in office. Look at what they are saying. The FPS Buhari wasted our life and everything. Nobody is talking about it. For what? You were here. All of them were here. When Buhari was leaving office, 1 month of his departure, He told us that he collected in 23 trillion naira from CBN. That we should add it to our national debt and pay it. Northern leaders, they didn't hear that. The National Assembly come, this money you took, who gave it to you? Who authorized you to? Did you appropriate it? Okay, fine, no problem. Where did you use this money? Where did you keep it? What did you use it for? Answer, did the Buhari answer anybody? Did he even write a note and say, okay, these are what I use the money for? Did he? Northern leader did not hear this. In fact, they should not let me talk. They should not let me talk. Enough of this nonsense. What kind of thing is this? All the problems we have inherited, who caused it? Have they said that to ask themselves? What are they contributing to Nigeria? Except this terrorism all over the place. What are they contributing? Look at the law they should have been using to farm. They are not talking about it. They are blaming Tinubu. Tinubu should come and farm their land for them, Abi. No, Tinubu should come and farm their land. I remember when Jonathan wanted to stop this insecurity, the same Northern leaders were writing memo against him. They told him not to disturb their voice. Shebumi said it, that nobody should talk to bandits. What are you telling me here, for God's sake? What are you telling me?
All right, but Mr.
People should be very careful. They will destroy this country. Northern leader will destroy this country the way they are going.
Mr. Darlington, let's look at the meeting that was held yesterday with the president and a couple of the governors, and some resolutions were met. I'm sure you've already heard about it. It was quite a lengthy one, but one of them is the president insisting and reiterating that they would, they ruled out the importation of food as part of strategies to address a high cost of foodstuff and the economic hardship troubling the country. And also talked about the essence of state police. And of course, a committee was set up which comprised a national security advisor, the Director General of the Department of State Services, and the Inspector General of Police to clamp down on traders hoarding grains. Now, this was a resolution that was reached yesterday. It was an emergency meeting between President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Vice President Kashim Shettima, and state governors at the Aso Villa. Now, the question is this: is it about clamping down on hoarders of food? Is it hoarding the food that is inflating the prices of food items? Or could it be the fact that the borders should be opened? And even if the borders are supposedly officially closed, are we saying that food import or some illegal food imports have not been coming in, or some items that is not stipulated as to what can enter into our ports is not already coming in through the borders? So what's your take on the president's resolution not to import and saying that Nigeria can feed itself?
This is not the solution to the problem. This is never the problem. This is never the solution to this problem. Clamping down on those who hoarding food and closing the border for importing food, it cannot solve the problem. Didn't Buhari do this before? He tried it before now. Esther, you remember when the borders were closed? What came out of it? What did you achieve with all those things? We achieved nothing. Please, for God's sake, Tinubu and APC, they should go back to where they met us before 2015. We had an economy. People were eating food in this country. They should go back there. If they don't know what to do, they should return us to where they met us. That's what I'm saying. All these arrangements are just ad hoc arrangements that cannot hold any water. It cannot. Whether they agree or not, they have tried it before. Did it work? The answer is no. So why are you going back to it? The food they are talking about, who is ordering food? Can anybody hold perishable goods? It will be so in your warehouse now. Nobody can go and hold such a, because it has a time limit. Where is the food for anybody to hold? All this one they are clapping down on this one, clapping down. My dear, how can one or two persons who kept some food item in warehouse, how can it affect the whole Nigeria? That's my question. How? How? The food is not there, it is not there. That's the truth. Just like you follow weekends by balance. If it didn't day, it didn't day. So what are they disturbing all of us? Okay, this is the deal now. Where is the impact? No, where is the impact? Instead of you to go to the root of the matter, let farmers go back to farm. Esther, somebody should tell Tinubu Let him clear these terrorists and Fulani herdsmen. Let Thomas go back to farm.
But Mr. Darlington, you heard me when I told you that the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, they've sealed a particular store named Sahad Store, a well-known supermarket located in the Gariki area of Abuja. And the action is coming in response to President Bola Tinubu's recent announcement to address the underlying causes of the food crisis in the country. So is there an expectation that we'll see more clampdown on stores or other warehouses that possibly store food items? And another thing is, how will they decipher warehouses that store food that they're going to resell? Because there are what do you call it, food traders that have warehouses. They will resell those food items. So are we saying now that any warehouse at all being known to store food, especially if they're for sale, there's a possibility they could be clamped down on? And what does this actually state for those who are into this business?
Esther, I am advising the owner of that supermarket to sue the federal government.
It will take a long time.
Let them sue them. Yeah, they should sue them. They should go to court. Please, for God's sake, we are not the one that bought the items in my shop for me. Did they know how much I bought it? I bought them. Do you know that if I buy a product now for sale at 10 naira, if I don't sell it at the prevailing price, if that product finish in my shop, I cannot afford it again. Because by the time I will go back, it will no longer be 10 naira. It will be 30 or 50 naira.
Mm-hmm.
That is what Tinubu's policy has caused. Instead of him to look at inflation, before now, was it like this? People are willing to sell off their product because of turnover. No businessman will want to go and keep a product in his shop for long. They want turnover. That is where the profit, that is where the money comes. You cannot go and store a particular product for what? For what? Are you the only one selling it? If you don't want to sell, others are selling it. That is the truth. Nobody wants to lose. Instead of them to look at the real problem that's filling up shop. If you touch my shop, I will sue you. Mm-hmm. For what? You don't buy the product for me.
Okay, but Mr. Darlington, amidst all of this, we're hearing that petroleum tankers and Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, they have vowed to stop lifting petroleum products beginning from Monday next week due to the high cost of operations. The members have repeatedly raised concerns over the high cost of diesel required to power their trucks for the transportation of petroleum products across the country. Now, they disclosed to journalists, especially through its president Yusuf Othman, in a statement he issued in Abuja just yesterday. He stated that it was an official announcement from the association's headquarters that members of the group would pack their trucks for Monday. Now, if that happens, then what next? Are we seeing a ground in our economic procession or acceleration? Because this is also another vital aspect that lubricates our economy. So when this happens, then what next? What is expected? And how soon should the FG come and intervene in whatever it is these people are saying? Because it will really be a dire situation for us.
Good. Esther, you were here when they told us that they are going to release the 42,000 metric tons of grains to be distributed to Nigeria. Please, let me ask you, which means of transportation are you going to distribute it, if not through trucks? And these trucks are going on site, but it is powered by diesel. If these people go on site now without any method of transporting this, what happens to their program? Can you see that these people, everything they touch is a disaster? Whatever they want to do, in fact, it is never conclusive. Do you need the federal government to make arrangements before these people go on strike, to make sure that this thing is transported to where they need it, according to the CBN governor, the Minister of Finance? They say where they need it. So if you need this food item at the innermost part of Meduguri, which means of transport will you take will you take the food there to?
That's the question.
Is that not truck? If they are strike now, how will these people get the food? How? You can see that we are in a bigger mess. This government, they don't think anything through. They just wake up and take a rational decision. And people who are so gullible, they will not ask them, they will not interrogate their policies. If these people go on strike now, look at the impact. Fuel will go up. Every other thing will go up. The only things you bought loss so that you'll be a good Nigerian. Are you the one that caused inflation? Are you the one? No, are you the one that made the dollar naira have brought into our life? I don't know reversing it now after the damage has been done. Look at fuel subsidy. If not for IMF and World Bank, would you have known that they are paying subsidy extra? But remember how they said it with all the ebullience in their brain. Fuel subsidy is gone. And everybody was clapping. I was in that studio that after listening to that, I told you, without anybody asking me, I told you that this thing is a disaster coming. Esther, is that not true now? Since they know better than all of us, is that not true now? Is that not what is going on now? Every problem we have today, it is the APC policy that is causing it. So they should stop looking for somebody to blame. To make matters worse, they have put the square peg in a round hole. Esther, when Obasanjo came into office, he saw that there is a problem, and he needed good hands to solve that problem.
But, Mr. Darlington,
that's why he went out to go look for a coaching one, and all the experts, technocrats, and you see what they did in office.
Mr. Darlington,
where is that technocrat in Tinubu's office?
Mr.
Where
Darlington,
are they?
We're running out of time.
All the jobs like Atiku said, they are all Lagos boys.
Mr. Darlington, Mr. Darlington,
everything Atiku did, they
Mr.
all Lagos boys.
Darlington,
You want to favor them?
Mr. Darlington, let me let me put a pause or a break on your stride. Finally, before we go, the supporters, a particular group, all right, they've actually expressed their support of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's policies, and they're saying that he would deliver good governance and prosperity in Nigeria, just like he did in Lagos. Now, aside from that group, even Bagudu, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, has also urged Nigerians to remain hopeful that President Bola Tinubu's policies to transform the country were already yielding results. In fact, he stated that academians came together and that what they can do for the country was also discussed in a particular conference that he attended. So beyond Atiku Bagudu, like I told you, some groups, they've actually stated that they would try as much as possible that Nigerians should be patient and see the president's policies come to light, and they believe that his strategies will actually help things get better. So what if these are the strategies and maybe these are the pains for the benefits to be achieved in the long run?
Esther, please, the Bagudu man you are talking about, was it not the budget minister?
Yes, that's the budget minister, as well as...
Are you aware that this particular man was Abacha's henchman who was transferring our money all over the world? Please, tell him to return all the money first, that we need it now. That's Bagudu. Tell him he should bring the money that he was helping to transfer for Abacha all over the world before he can come and preach someone to me. Did you hear what I said? That is the first thing he should do. Look at the people that Tinubu brought into government. The very people that destroyed this country. Can you imagine? Should that man be talking?
Well, these are technocrats, Mr. Darlington. These are technocrats.
What did we achieve? We are not patient with Buhari for 8 years.
Mr. Darlington, are you saying that the president could not decipher or use his discretion properly to appoint some certain persons with their portfolio to help, move our economy forward? Is that what you're saying, that the president did not make the right decision?
You can see it now. Is it not obvious? If you have people who really know what they're doing, things will not be like this. At least when you start, when you go in those days when we used to go to farm in the village, we leave early in the morning, around 5-6, we are in the farm, so that before the sun will come out, we would have done so much. You use that energy you came into office, you start working, we will see it. Every time, be patient. They have not told us. The patience you had with Buhari.
Mr. Darlington, you were the one who said the other time that the previous administration put us in this quagmire. So isn't it possible that it may take a while to get us out of it, and maybe the president is really trying as much as possible to infuse certain policies that will help navigate us out of this? Don't you think so?
No, Tinubu will not do that, because he told you already. Tinubu is like he had a covenant with Buhari. It's like Tinubu had a covenant with Buhari not to deviate from what he did. Tinubu told you he was coming to follow Buhari's footsteps. his legacy. He was
Mr.
coming to
Darlington,
consolidate
is it not difficult to
and
believe?
he has never
Mr.
been
Darlington,
apologetical about it.
is it not difficult to believe that how you're describing things or responding, you're sounding like the president would deliberately put us in this kind of situation? I don't think any president would want to put us in this kind of situation. So are you saying that he's not trying his best?
So you don't know that there are people that we call sadists, Tabi? They are happy when you are suffering.
But the president has expressed empathy on several occasions, Mr. Darlington. The president has expressed empathy. You can't say that he's sad. He has expressed empathy on several occasions that he feels our pains and he feels our plight. So how would you say such a person is a sadist? He wouldn't pop up
Buhari said the same thing. Buhari, up to tomorrow, Buhari is still apologizing for what he did to Nigerians, true or false, even when out of office. Buhari is still apologizing for what he did to us. So if Tinubu is still doing the same thing, my dear, why should we not have hope? It is their modus operandi. Telling you, don't be talking to them, try to placate them, use sweet words, be telling them, Nigerians, they are very gullible. They will listen to you. Don't be talking to them that you sympathize with them.
Mr. Darlington, you cannot generalize. Nigerians, not all Nigerians are gullible. You're a Nigerian as well. So when you say Nigerians, then that means you're gullible. So not all Nigerians.
Not gullible. Hold on, why did we come to this sorry state? Esther, mention any country in the whole world where what is going on in Nigeria is still happening and the government is still on sick. Mention one. If you are not gullible. All this protest is politically motivated and you know where it is coming from. What I'm saying is that Tinubu, whether he likes it or not, he must finish these 4 years.
Yes, he will.
So that tomorrow you will not come and tell us that it is because whatever. That's why all the good plans he had.
Mr. Darlington, we've actually run out of time. I want to say
now that he's paying subsidy, let me see where he will get the money.
I want to say thank you so much.
To return all the ones
thank you so much, Mr. Darlington, for your time.
Let him, if he cannot do that, let me see how you get the money to perform that miracle.
All right. We need to wrap up at the moment. Thank you so much, Mr. Darlington, for your analysis and your perception to the issues raised in the world news. To wrap up here again are the top stories. Lukman cries out on APC-led government. IPOB urges Tinubu to reverse Obasanjo's policy to tackle cement price surge. Fuel scarcity looms as tanker drivers threaten fresh strike. Federal government seals a popular store in Abuja's crackdown on the herding. Price fixing begins. And President Tinubu's supporters declared Tinubu strategizing to end untold hardship in Nigeria. That's a wrap on the world news at 12. My name is Esther Wachuku. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.